and join me in the opening prayer. Dear God, thank you for being with us on this exciting and memorable day. We rejoice in your name as we look back on 4 years of academic excellence, athletic victories, and outstanding performances. Bless our teachers, coaches, sponsors, and most of all, parents. Without them, we would not be here today. Lord, please walk with us and be our guide as we head into the future and pursue our dreams. Lord, never let us forget our friends and special memories at WAUBONSIE Valley. In your name we pray. Amen.
Nice job, Lauren.
Everyone, please be seated.
Very nice job. Well, we really need another one, Craig. All right, Chair.
I would like to welcome you all to the class of 1996 graduation. We have worked so hard for the past 4 years just for this one special moment, and it's so exciting to see all the people that would like to be a part of this very special day. So I'm going to welcome you all, and I hope that you enjoy the ceremony.
Okay, they're coming up. I'll move over. For the exchange of flags will Renee DeNicolo, Megan Arisman, Christy Hartman, Emily Carestis, Jessica Rafferty, and from Germany, Ulrich Bruhl, Brazil, Cristiano Gloria, Finland, Satu Kavalainen, and from Turkey, Berkan Toplu.
Good afternoon. As president of the International Club, I'd now like to carry out our tradition of exchanging the flags with our foreign exchange students.
Not everyone is aware that the senior speech is selected by a panel of teachers and administrators from many submitted speeches. That in itself is an honor. The person selected truly represents our class of over 500 students. She is an honor student, a two-sport athlete, treasurer of the senior class, top senior fitness female, actively involved in her church, and voted class clown by her classmates. But most of all, she is a friend. And our guest speaker has laryngitis, and she's going to try to get through this as best as she can. It is now my privilege to introduce Beth Abhalter.
The time has come for us to begin our new lives and say goodbye to each other. For most of us, the past 4 years of our lives have been spent here at WAUBONSIE Valley High School. During these 4 years of our lives, we have changed. We have made new friends, and we have kept the old. Our bodies and our minds have changed as well. We have had to make decisions that have affected our lives in numerous ways. Most importantly, though, we have changed as persons. We have now found ourselves and now know who we are and what we might want to do with the rest of our lives. We have watched our school, WAUBONSIE Valley, grow as well, and we have contributed to its growth. Not only has the school grown in size, but programs and activities in our school have grown as well. We have contributed to the rise of WAUBONSIE's athletic and musical programs. Many extracurricular activities and clubs have formed because of our class and our constant support of our school. WAUBONSIE would not be what it is today if it were not for us. and we would not be what and who we are today if it were not for WAUBONSIE Valley. This past school year has offered many challenges and many inconveniences due to increased enrollments and all of the inconveniences that continuous construction can bring. Although this year has been a tough one, we, the graduating class of 1996, met these challenges with a positive attitude, knowing that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Today, we see that light. Today, we throw off our hats and say goodbye to our school, our friends, and all of the experiences that have shaped us into who we are. We leave our past behind and look into the future with profound excitement, and yet in some ways, profound fear and apprehension. We leave this stadium today knowing that we have made a positive impact on our school. But we now must look towards the future. We should not forget the memories that lie in the back of our minds dealing with the past 4 years. Remember the football games, the pep assemblies, the musicals, the parking lots, the narcs, and especially the friends we love and trust. We must always remember the many adults, teachers, coaches, sponsors, administrators, and especially our parents who have done so much for us and who have made so many contributions to our lives. Go forth in the spirit of warrior pride and do whatever it takes to pursue your future and your dreams. And please remember, our future begins at this moment, launched by this, our own graduation ceremony. Hold on to your memories, but look forward and envision your future. Thank you.
Very nice, John. Very nice.
Good afternoon, everyone. This year, our senior class wanted to continue the tradition of choosing a gift that would help decorate WAUBONSIE's renowned white walls and floors. After fighting with Mr. Keller continuously over his offers for a new mural and our class's temptation to donate a set of new senior lockers, we decided on a gift that was a little more appropriate. This year, our class of 96 gift to WAUBONSIE is an 8 by 8 foot stained glass window encased on a wall in the atrium. Mr. Gus Gomez and his crew from Wheaton, Illinois, did a phenomenal job of replicating the WAUBONSIE school seal for the design of the glass. Mr. Joe Beam, one of our class sponsors, also contributed a great deal of time creating the wooden encasement surrounding the glass. I invite you all to come and join us after the commencement ceremonies, as the Home and School Association has provided us with refreshments in the atrium. Here you can all catch a glimpse of exactly what we're giving to our school. So formally, I would now like to present to Dr. Ellman, on behalf of the senior class of 96, our class gift of the stained glass.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, that was
You
bad.
did a great job.
upon your face, and the rain falls soft upon your fields. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain falls soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand, in the palm.
This year, WAUBONSIE Valley has 3 valedictorians, Sean Breuer, Karen Hahn, and Matt Suravatka. As they come forward, we'll be presenting them with their valedictorian medals, and they will be giving a speech, Sean first, Karen second, Matt third.
I'm up. Good afternoon. When Dr. Ullman first came up to me about 2 weeks ago and told me that I had to give a speech at graduation, I have to admit, I was a little nervous at first. You see, I had come to watch graduation last year, and so I knew about how many people were going to be here today. And well, to kind of put things in perspective, I always thought it was pretty tough just giving those little speeches in front of my English classes. Well, then Dr. Ullman told me to try and keep the speech short and simple, maybe about 3 to 4 minutes at tops. And so I thought, all right, that's not so bad. And with that in mind, I sat down to prepare my speech. And to be honest, it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to write. For once, I found myself with too much to say and not enough time to say it. There's so much to talk about when you think about this class. I could talk about our athletic success, academic achievements, and so on. But as we sit here today on what will be our last day together, what is most important are the common experiences that we shared and the memories that we will carry with us when we leave school today and really for the rest of our lives. Now, certainly, we all came to WAUBONSIE every day to learn. Well, most of the time, anyways. We studied hard, did our homework, and that's what got us here today. But really, school is much more than pop quizzes and book lessons and final exams. It's about growing up. It's about making friends and working together. It's about taking risks, learning from your mistakes, and no matter what, never losing sight of your goals. What we learned in class is something that we will use for the rest of our lives. But at the end of today, when we all head our separate ways, it will be the memories of the little things, the little experiences that we shared that will bring a smile to our face and make us remember how great it was to be in high school. We'll remember the Friday night football games and those after-game dances where we got to know each other as freshmen. We'll remember the school plays, the pep assemblies, that first homecoming dance and prom. And then there were those unusual events that made coming to school so much fun. First, there were those power outages junior year. And those few anonymous students who, over the span of several months in the spring, gave us a fire drill every other day. And who will ever forget the first time you witnessed the wrath of the library ladies and watched in horror as Mrs. Yaney kicked another one of your friends out of the library? Or how about the day someone dropped a watermelon off the third floor of the atrium? Now, maybe these events didn't teach us a whole lot about life, but they sure made things interesting. Now I've been talking about how we, as students, will remember WAUBONSIE, but it's also important to think about how our school will remember us. What will our teachers, our guidance counselors, and even underclassmen remember about our class when we're all gone? I honestly believe that our class has been one of the most successful classes in school history. No matter where you look, whether it's academics, athletics, or extracurricular activities, our class has excelled. Just look recently. The girls' soccer team made it all the way to the state super sectionals. The baseball team won the regional championship. The varsity singers attended the all-state conference in Peoria. We had 12 students named National Merit Finalists, and the list could go on and on. Our class is going to leave behind a successful legacy and a standard for future classes to measure themselves against. Although we may have been a successful class, we cannot take all the credit for ourselves. And it is at this time, on behalf of the class of 1996, that I would like to sincerely thank our parents for their continued support and undying love over the past 18 or 19 years. Our success and our ability to be here today are a direct result of your love and support. You've made us what we are today, and we thank you. Finally, I'd like to thank the teachers, the counselors, the coaches, and all those on the WAUBONSIE staff who have influenced us throughout our 4 years of school. I know that we as students rarely thank you for all that you've done for us, but just because we may not say much doesn't mean we don't understand how much time you sacrifice and how much enthusiasm you put into your work. Thank you for being our mentors, our friends, and for preparing all of us for a successful future. Well, that's it. The time has come to say goodbye to our school and each other. When I think about heading off to college next year, I can't help but thinking how strange it's going to be not seeing all your faces when I walk into school that first day. Besides spending the last 4 years together, I've known a lot of you since kindergarten and some even longer. As we prepare to graduate today and head our separate ways, I'd like to wish all of you the best of luck wherever you're going and in whatever you're doing. And no matter where life takes you, always remember how much fun it was to be a part of the class of 1996. Thank you.
After 4 years of crazy parking lots, crowded hallways, and campus monitors, we are finally free. As I walked out of school on the last day, I admit I was insanely giddy. But then it struck me. I had one last deadline to meet before my high school career was over. I had to write this speech. No problem, I thought. But wait, there was a problem, a rather large one. See, for the past year, I've suffered from this very common affliction called senioritis. In fear of overexerting myself, I decided to ask around to see what others would say to a graduating class. Finding a couple of people eager to speak, I decided to bring them up with me so they could hand out a little advice. Hi, I'm 4 3/4, and I like to finger paint. That's very nice, Stephanie. Now, wasn't there something you wanted to say to the graduates? Oh, yeah. My mommy told me to tell you all congratulations. Now, she said some of you are leaving home. That's sad. But Don't forget to bring your blankie so you won't get lonely. And don't forget to play sometimes because it's fun. And homework's... But you have to do that too. Oh yeah, and you have to remember to look both ways before you cross the street. That's very important that you set goals for yourself. Do you think Hillary Clinton could have made it into the White House without first setting goals for her and her husband? While you strive for your dreams, do not limit yourself either. You cannot be square. You have to be well-rounded. Remember, you are the leaders of the future. You can make a difference if you join this covert operation. Don't you realize they're out to get us? They're out to get us, I tell you. Oh, you may think you've tricked them, but out of nowhere, there it is, the warrior wagon. If we just destroy it, we'd free the world of all evil. But I can't do it alone. We can only conquer it together. So join us. If you ever need anything, just call home. You don't need to face the world alone. Time goes by so quickly. I remember when you were a little kid and, well, like I was saying, don't forget to call home. Remember to eat your vegetables. Don't stay out too late. Shower regularly. Did you? Well, thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Yes, I will make sure he packed his underwear. Parents, you gotta love them. Now that everyone has covered the basics for me, there's just one last thing I'd like to share. I believe that I am in this constant state of whiplash due to a crashing of viewpoints. After each mini trauma, I have to stop and remind myself that if we just stop our complaining for a moment and try to see the other person's point of view, then this strange world called reality begins to make a little sense. Winona Ryder sums it up in Reality Bites when she says, and the answer is, I don't know. But as we leave WAUBONSIE for the last time, let's let the words of Julie Delpy lead us out when she says, in Before Sunrise, the answer must be in the attempt. Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm the last one. I know y'all want to get this over with quickly, so I'll keep my remarks brief. Before I begin, though, I'd like to ask you all to applaud at the end of my speech. No, not just to boost my ego. It doesn't need that. But because there are some people here who truly deserve recognition. First, applaud all the teachers, because in some way, in or out of the classroom, they touched our lives and helped make us what we are today. For example, who can forget Shep taking a skill and body class out sledding? Mrs. Stroh's never-ending school spirit, or Mr. Kaneen telling us in government class to stand firm in defense of our views. Next, applaud all the parents who supported us not just these 4 years, but our entire lives. They sent us off to kindergarten, grade school, high school. They taught us to ride a bike and sweated through our first driving lessons. For that, and so much more, they deserve our thanks. But most of all, applaud yourselves, because it was you and no one else who earned the right to be here today. It was you who did the work it took to graduate. Now, as for the rest of my speech, I'm not going to give it. You see, a graduation speech should be full of nostalgia and reminiscing about the good old days, but I think that's been amply covered today. You don't need me to tell you about all the fun we've had, all the friends we'll miss, all the mud, or all of our successes, which are too numerous to mention anyway. Besides, graduation is also time to look ahead. Whether your plans include work, college, or both, you, the class of '96, possess within you all that is necessary to succeed in life. Can't you feel the energy coming off this field? It's not just the sun reflecting off 600 caps and gowns. Obviously, it's not the sun now, but it is the excitement we feel about the future. It is our youth, our strength, our optimism. Do not lose these qualities, for with them, we can shape the future. As we part ways today, I challenge each of you to just one thing. Strive to make a difference in the world around you, wherever you may go. In closing, on this, your graduation day, look back fondly and be glad. Be glad you're getting out now before another 1,000 freshmen arrive next fall. I wish you well, and may you always remember where you started, here at WAUBONSIE Valley. Remember everything, even your failures, as they will be inspiration for improvement. Of course, remember also your successes and use them as a source of confidence in the face of future challenges. Thank you.
I'm glad to see you're having a ball. Come on, come on. Oh. Thank you. Welcome, graduates, family, friends, and faculty. We didn't think we were going to have graduation outdoors, but somebody came through for us. Graduates, I'd like to acknowledge some special partners, just as some of the earlier speakers have. First, your parents. Parents, please stand up. We'd like to give you a hand. Second, teachers, many of whom are here today, would you please stand? We'll give you a hand as well. And third, up here on the podium, we have the members of our Board of Education and District Administrative Team led by Superintendent Gail Williams. Would you please stand? Takes a lot of partners to have a good school like this, so I want to thank the many parents who are members of the Booster Club and our Home and School Association for being significant partners and supporters over the 4 years that you've been here. During the ceremony, the Home and School will be handing out roses to you after you receive your diploma, and they're going to be hosting a reception that Mary Beth talked about inside the atrium. I'll remember the class of '96 because of the ownership you displayed in your school and the support that you gave one another. You've been a part of the changes and improvements at WAUBONSIE Valley, and those have been many. There's a lot of leaders in this class, many, many leaders. You've been involved in reviewing school policies and pioneering new courses and new teams and new activities. Some of you have been rolling up your sleeves and been involved in community service projects. If I had to characterize you, I'd say you're very kind and you're a very poised group. You've continued a high standard of academic success set by previous classes, but you've risen even higher. For example, your advanced placement scores set a new school record. Also, 29 of you were commended in the national merit testing, and 10 of you are national merit finalists, the most ever in WAUBONSIE Valley school history. You were a part of an IHSA State Music Championship and national music recognition. You brought home state awards in speech and dramatic activities. You led the nation in business club competitions and took honors in foreign language, newspaper, and literary magazine contests. And in athletics, you brought home conference championships, periodic and regular state rankings, and state tournament plaques and trophies. Even our Special Olympics basketball team was featured and played during a Bulls game this year. And as many of you know, you're still not done. The baseball team and many of the members of the seniors who are on that team continues to win in the state tourney and plays again tomorrow. You donated hours and hours in our community on volunteer projects, and some agencies have awarded some of the students for that commitment to their community. More importantly, you've made Waubonsie Valley's reputation. The spotlight continues to shine on Waubonsie Valley because of the things that you have done. You may remember during your junior year, Waubonsie was featured among the best schools in Chicagoland in Chicago Magazine, a national publication, and was highlighted on a TV special. And your hard work made all that possible. I'll think of your class when I look at that 8 by 8 foot stained glass school emblem overlooking the atrium, which was a very, very generous gift. You know that I like to take pictures. I was taking pictures today when you were getting ready to come out here. The reason I do that is I want other students to see you and to reach for that same excellence. I'm proud of all of you, from the 3 valedictorians on the stage to those students who passed that last required class on the very last day, and you did it through determination. You're a first-class group. Let's give yourselves a hand this time. Dr. Williams, I take off my hat to this group. I tell you that I certify these young men and young women have completed their required course of studies, and I present them to you for graduation. Dr. Williams.
On behalf of the Board of Education, it's my pleasure to accept your endorsement and to declare that the class of 1996 has met the requirements of the State of Illinois and the Indian Prairie District 204 Board of Education. To the parents, I say thank you for sharing these young men and young women with us. To the staff, thank you for your tireless dedication to these efforts. And to each of you, much success, much happiness, and congratulations.
Better for me when you can throw to somebody that you feel comfortable with.
Also, Gary was a graduate of Northwestern, where he was a pitcher too. And I understand as kids, all 3 of you used to throw through a tire in the backyard. You swing the tire on a rope or something like that?
That was something that we did do at one time. I don't remember that as much as just. I always tell this story when I started at the age of 5 and just wanting to be a Major League Baseball player, and my mother, this thing I remember, would catch us. She would be the catcher, in other words. And Danny started out throwing, and every pitch that we would throw past her overhead in the dirt or whatnot would get by her. She made us run and get it, and I didn't think that settled too good with my brother Dan, and so I gave it a try, and I guess I didn't mind as much running after him, but I just remember that as far as you got to give her a good pitch or you got to run and get it. So I stuck with it. Danny decided that he would rather have me run and get it if I was going to be the one pitching. And then Gary just took the, he was always interested and liked baseball, and he did a good job and becoming Aurora Central great hitter, and did a great job in the infield.
Now let's get to your situation this year with Pittsburgh. First of all, Jim Gott and Jeff Robinson are both gone.
Yeah, I think you look at a couple years ago in '87, the Pirates started to make their turnaround after an '85 season, finishing in last place, also in '86 finishing in last place, and obviously the city was in desperate need of a turnaround. And Jim and Jeff were a great attribute or acquisition that the Pirates made. Jimmy saved 35 games for us in '88, and Jeff Robinson pitched 130 some innings. and middle relief, which is quite a feat, I would say, for any middle relief man. So they were definitely integral parts of the Pirate bullpen, and last year we saw a big turnaround. Jim Gott missed the whole season because of arm injury, and Jeff didn't have that type of season that he probably would have liked to have that he had the 2 previous years before. And I was just in Pittsburgh a week ago, and this is you know, we try to keep things positive and try to keep the baseball spirit in Pittsburgh alive. And one thing I like to say to people there is that '89 season was a down season for the Pirates because we went from 2nd in '88 to 5th in '89, but it did open some doors for people. Like I said, Jim and Jeff weren't a big part of our team last year, and but it opened some doors for a gentleman named Bill Landrum, who saved 26 games for the Pirates in a half a season, and it opened some doors for me. It gave me an opportunity now to get in some games and some pressure type situations, and also got an opportunity to save a few games. So it was a positive year in a lot of ways, but when anytime you have injuries, it's going to damper a season, and it definitely did to the Pirates in '89.
Right now you're in a short relief role. You were a starter when you first came up, right?
Right, correct. A matter of fact, I was starting all through the minor league days when I was playing with the Angels, and then I started with the Pirates in '85, September of that year. I started for the team for the Pirates in '86 and '87. And then basically after a real bad '87 year, I didn't really have an outstanding shot to make the club in '88, and because I had such a good spring training in '88, I pretty much ran into the role of a middle relief guy out of the bullpen because the Pirates didn't have a left-hander out of the bullpen, and so pretty much I ran into that role, and I figured out this is going to be an adjustment. It's going to take some time, but I was mentioning to you earlier that I really liked the adjustment. I really liked the role because mentally it did a lot for me. As a starter, I really struggled with consistency because I struggled with the consistency with that time in between starts. What to do. I watch guys like Doug Drabick and John Smiley, which are real consistent starters on the Pirate staff, and they do the same things, whether they win, lose, or what. And I watch them and I say, you know, these are things that I wish I'd known or could have done when I was starting, and it's real important to be consistent in your work habits, even during the season. But in the relief role, also you have to be consistent on how you approach the game. I come to the game every day feeling I got a chance to get in the ball game, and I do. If I even pitch one night, I have a good chance to pitch the next night, all depending how much I throw. So mentally, it's been a good adjustment. So like I say, I don't know what my chances are starting again. I'm really comfortable in my role, so I just.
One last question.
Okay.
You feel there's going to be a strike of some sort with things between the owners and players, the way things are going right now?
Well, obviously I'm not real qualified to answer that question. We have a couple player reps that probably could answer these questions or issues a lot better than I can. But I'll correct you on one thing. It's a lockout, not a strike, and there's a big difference. And obviously I'm going about business as usual. Approaching baseball like it's, you know, we're going to have our spring training, we're going to continue with the season, and obviously I'm optimistic that things are going to be resolved and we'll get back to baseball.
All right, well, thanks, Bob.
Okay, Steve.
That was our special correspondent, Steve Moga. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that there isn't a lockout. If it is, it'll be basically a case of the owners punishing the players and the fans for their own fiscal irresponsibility.
Penny Lynn Baker.
Natalie Ann Ackerman.
Keith R. Ballard. Michael Ralph Adamovich.
Jill Marie Banchback.
Janet D. Aguilar.
Melissa Lynn Barber.
Rachel Amanda Ackerman.
Michael Angelo Barrera.
Susan Veronica Alcacid.
Alex D. Barta.
Michael Joseph Alexander.
Brooke H. Bartlett.
Baree Stephanie Anderson.
Christopher Michael Bartos.
Elizabeth Ann Anderson.
Nicholas James Basta.
Carrie Beth Anderson.
William H. Bauer.
Kevin Allen Anderson.
Brian F. Baumgartner.
Reem M. Antoon.
Latasha Marie Beard.
Heather Lynn Artis.
Kathleen Elizabeth Bearden.
Dana K. Ong.
Cheris Janine Beckham.
Luke Thomas Babler.
Ivana Patricia Bednarenko.
Elizabeth Ann Melalini Bell.
Brian Thomas Brennan in absentia.
Sheila Dawn Berezowski.
G. Michael Bridge.
Jennifer Lee Berkeley.
Robert Franklin Brock.
Bryce Anthony Burndle.
Jennifer Denise Brockett.
Jason M. Berry.
Ryan Allen Brody.
Jessica Lynn Bertulis.
Ulrich Carl Brohl.
Tani J. Bessman.
Sean Timothy Breuer.
Jason Scott Besterfield.
Jack C. Brown.
Peter Bedron.
Natalie Marie Bruno.
Brittany Blackham.
Rachel Ann Bryant.
Daniela S. Blecka.
Jennifer Christine Bolfin.
Michael Thomas Borish.
Joseph Theodore Burton.
Scott Allen Bowser.
William Hunter Byington III.
Kelly Colleen Boyle.
Corey Lee Cables.
Christopher D. Brand.
Jason Patrick Cables.
Deborah Ann Callender.
H. Alexander Clark.
Brock R. Campbell, in absentia.
Janelle Nicole Clark.
Anthony Ryan Carey.
Sarah Burke Canota.
Matthew S.S.S.L. Carr.
Pierce Kenneth Cole Jr.
Mark Wallace Carlson.
Bridget Lynn Colgan.
Timothy John Casasi, in absentia.
Stephen Burr Collette.
Stacy Marie Casto.
John M. Cook.
Jennifer Marie Cantrambone.
Donald L. Corp.
Stephen Frederick Chambers.
Joseph Robert Cortese.
Melissa Marie Charlson.
Lindsay Jean Coyle.
Estelle Chen, in absentia.
Natalie Lorraine Crosby.
Karen Chu.
John Daniel Kraus.
Michelle Kathleen Chiasolo.
Amy Lynn Cruz.
Lisa Ray Christensen.
John M. Crutchfield.
Christopher D. Shiak.
Bradford T. Cummings.
Andrea Michelle Cunningham.
Andrea Michelle DeCiani.
James W. Curd.
Ryan Edward Dietland.
Christopher Wren Chaplack.
Christopher Paul Dillon.
Lisa Marie Dacey.
Paulav M. Dodia.
Samuel Christopher Damon.
Michelle Lisa Donovan.
Smita Daz, in absentia.
Kevin D. Duda.
Landy Eden Day.
Rick
B. Dudzinski.
Katie Michelle Deegan.
Jason Gregory Dunn.
Stephen Paul Delagrange.
Julie Louise Dunn.
Michael Anthony DeLeonardis.
Sarah Elizabeth Durbin.
Renee Marie DeNicolo.
Adrian Faye Dusick.
Amy Lynn Devine.
Marcy Catherine Duval.
Jennifer K. Diaz.
Latrina Dye.
Louis R. Diaz.
Megan J. Erisman.
Gwendolyn L. Eichhorst.
Kristen Lee Victor.
Jennifer Lynn Ellis.
Carrie Adam Fields.
Nathan Stephen Erickson.
Michelle Janice Finkus.
Jessica Ann Erlinson.
Justin Benjamin Fisher.
Joyce Espinoza.
Amber Elizabeth Fisher.
Michael Thomas Evans.
Michael Anthony Flaherty.
Christina Marie Ezzo.
Jody Ann Fliss.
Dina Marie Falco.
Shanna Marie Fliss.
Sean Christopher Farrar.
Lamar T. Flournoy.
Christopher M. Farrell.
LeVar A. Flournoy.
Ali Jason Fathi.
Stephen E. Folkers.
Michael John Fallhaber.
Adriana Judith Francois.
Jessica Christine Fallbush.
Agnes Sunshine Fredericks.
David Christopher Fozzie.
Stephen W. Garish.
Amy Marie Ferguson.
Pelou A. Garpure.
Tricia Suzanne French.
Douglas T. Gibson in absentia.
Kirsten Marie Fulsang in absentia.
Megan Kathleen Gilberto.
Michael Paul Furibando.
Kiva Janae Gilden.
Charity Lynn Gailey.
Crystal Ann Gillis.
Kelly Christine Gallagher.
Darren M. Gladfelter.
Kelly Lauren Gallivan.
David J. Gloff.
Deval T. Galloway.
Cristiano Carvelo Gloria.
Paul Michael Garbus in absentia.
Christian Brian Godek.
Ephraim Gil Garcia.
Brian Richard Good.
Laura Catherine Gatz.
Ashley Allison Gernal.
Patrick Joseph Gahn.
Jason Michael Gow.
Matthew Kyle Gerhart.
Jill Carrie Graby.
Amanda Beth Geisler.
Catherine Claire Hall.
Glenn W. Gerhars in absentia.
Jennifer Ann Hammond.
Timothy M. Gradle.
Karen Kai Ning Han.
Eduardo Granha.
Preston Ray Hanlon.
William E. Gravel.
Honor H. Hansel.
Annalisa P. Gregoire.
Robert James Harding.
Timothy A. Greifer.
Valerie Jean Herring.
Sarah Lynn Gulas.
George W. Harkins, Jr. in absentia.
Joshua Brent Gulick.
Michelle Lynn Harris.
Sean David Gulisano.
Christy Lynn Hartman.
Bree Michelle Gutman.
Kristen Amber Hayek.
Nicole Ann Gazaldo.
Lori Ann Healy.
Jamie L. Haig.
Christopher Thomas Heaney.
Daniel Benjamin Hawk.
Jessica Ann Heaney.
Paul Joseph Haddad.
Andrea M. Hopkins.
Alexis J. Hadley.
David William Huff.
Joel Adam Heidemann.
Rachel Ann Hool in absentia.
Amy Susan Heller.
Brian Michael Howard.
Jamie Antoinette Henschel.
Brian C. Huang.
Stephanie Lynn Harrell.
John R. Hupka.
Christy S. Herrera.
Jason M. Hughes.
Karen Michelle Hicks.
Audrey Lynn Hume.
Danya Michelle Hill.
Zishan Hyder.
Jeffrey Wilson Hill.
Jennifer L. Hinkstrom.
Ami R. Hindia.
Michael J. Ibach in absentia.
Sarah E. Hines.
Jenny Lynn Ignasic in absentia.
James Richard Helm.
Jennifer Lynn Illich.
Rachel Catherine Holtz.
Polaput Charles Inboraboon.
Dina K. Holmesy.
John Wesley Inman.
Eric H.A. Hogenkamp.
Justin Allen Jones.
Elizabeth Jean Inwood.
Megan Kathleen Jorgensen.
Cyrus P. Irani.
Emily Elizabeth Junk.
Heather Ann Jacob.
Sherry Ann Calvitis.
Jason Michael Jakes.
Mary Lynn Karabetsos.
Stephen Christopher Jameson.
Christine Lorraine Kelleher.
Nicole E. Jameson.
Chad A. Kelly.
Jacob Allen Janowski.
Matthew Justin Kelly.
Katie Marie Jansen.
Kelly Lee Kennedy in absentia.
Veronica Nina Jenkins.
Emily M. Carestis.
Helen Zhang.
Michael C. Khalili.
Christopher David Johannesson.
Sarah Elizabeth Keep.
Adam Kim Johnson.
Erica Shelley Kiskowski.
James Robert Johnson.
Jessica Berg Knapp.
Lamont Johnson.
Sarah Ann Kohout.
Danielle Lynette Johnson Gibson.
David Henry Lampy.
Jacob Alex Kolpa.
Megan Ann Lane.
Stacy Campara.
Nathaniel Todd Lane.
Eric John Koken.
Tori Ashia Lane.
Kristen Lynn Corso.
Jamie Scott Lapato.
Tolas Cascaneres.
Cheryl Lynn LaRose.
Melissa Lee Kowalski.
Crystal Marie LaSavage.
Melissa Susan A. Kraus in absentia.
Corinne Victoria Lawrence.
Daniel Gary Krivos.
Christopher Lee.
Melissa Ann Kuhn.
Sean Peter Lee.
Katie Marie Kavetkis.
Jason A. LeMaistre.
Mimi Jen Kwok.
Eben Danta Lavelle.
Valerie Marie Lefebvre.
Stephen R. Lindo.
Deborah Beth Lambert.
Diane Renee Liskey.
Jay Lambert.
Jennifer Nicole Murata.
Amanda Marie Locke.
Paul Joseph Marquardt.
Amanda Michelle Locke.
Heather L. Marshall.
Tracy Jean Lofgren.
William Thomas Marshall.
Cheryl Ann Logston.
Benjamin David Martin.
Carrie Lynn Lomax.
Jeremy R. Martin.
Christopher John Lottis.
Christopher Gregory Martinez.
Timothy Paul Lottis.
Nathaniel Denver Mason in absentia.
Timothy Russell Mabley.
Rebecca Jean Massett.
Vivian A. McPherson.
Brian William Massey.
Ryan Everett Maddox.
Michael David Matthews.
Megan Elizabeth Meyer.
Matthew Gerald Maxwell.
Seth D. Malley.
Rebecca Lynn May.
Brian P. Mansell.
Kurt B. Mayer.
Amanda Aaron Marion.
Kelly Lynn Mays.
Jillian Michelle McDaniel.
Charlene Laura Moore.
Jennifer Ann McDonough.
Lori Yvette Moran.
Kelly Christine McDuffie.
Nicole Sonia Morgisi.
Jennifer Lynn McGorry.
Christine M. Morin.
Pamela Elizabeth McHugh.
Keenan D. Morrison.
Faith Juliette McKenzie.
Michael Douglas Morrison.
Julie L. McLean.
Lindsay Hope Mortensen.
Carrie Ann McNair.
Sally Ann Morton.
Matthew Michael McNatt.
Emily Jane Mueller.
Megan Therese McNeil.
Eric John Mueller.
Aaron Michael Miller.
Priya Nataraj.
Brian Thomas Miller.
Jennifer Lynn Nakleba.
Sishan M. Mirza.
Brandon Y. Nelson.
Grant E. Moffett.
Rachel Maria Nemeth.
Lisa Justine Monroe.
Lisa Marie Nero.
William B. Nestle Jr.
Driana K. Olver.
Vanessa Lynn Nettleton.
Sarah Elizabeth Opolinski.
Danielle Marie Newman.
Kendra Nicole Otto.
Christopher John Nikoloff.
Lisa Amelia Pagels.
Walter Scott. The fourth.
Brian Warren Palm.
Daniel Brian Norton.
Christopher Michael Paquette.
Jeffrey Scott Novak.
Ryan W. Parker.
John Michael Odell.
Jonathan H. Parrish.
Rebecca Ann Orig.
John Pasternak.
Joe Nathan Oglesby.
Devang M. Patel.
Stephen N. Olier.
Zena A. Patel.
Mark Stephen Olson.
Mary Beth Marie Patterson.
Michael James Olson.
Kimberly Lynn Patzer.
Shannon Marie Neal.
Julie Catherine Platt.
Peter J. Paulson.
Daniel J. Polanski.
Jill Christine Pavlis.
Melissa A. Polivka.
Robin Tristan Pezos in absentia.
Michael Robert Polizzi.
Richard Sargent Peabody.
Melissa Ray Porter.
Matthew David Picala.
Eric M. Prudzinski in absentia.
Candace Renee Pelkey.
Stephen J. Prokopek.
Ashley Jane Pinnock.
Maura Ann Pytel.
Russell W. Perlick.
Christopher X. Quinteros.
David Jason Perry.
Jessica Mari Rafferty.
Corrine Marie Pfaff.
Mindy Leanne Rakowski.
Denise Jean Pfaff.
Summer Michelle Ratliff.
Devin L. Piha.
Gretchen Denise Reddick.
Robert Allen Pickens.
Christina Louise Reinhardt.
David Scott Pinchuk.
Michael Thomas Reavers.
Robert Michael Plain.
Angie Rubel.
Christy Heather Rydell.
Kenneth P. Sabino.
Gary Andrew Riani.
Jessica Janine Salemi.
Justin Neil Ringel.
James Paul Salvadori.
William P. Ringrose.
Kelly Ann Sanders.
Emily J. Rivera.
Sham P. Sangvi.
Elizabeth A. Roberts.
Amy Jean Sorrow.
Melissa Sue Roberts.
Carla D. Scherf.
Antonio L. Robinson.
Rebecca M. Schmidt.
Terry Sherelle Robinson.
Joshua J. Schulmeyer.
Julie K. Rockwell.
Craig Scott Schreiber.
Brooke Marie Rodsater.
Amy Lynn Schweikert.
Timothy P. Roman.
Jasmine Singh Segal.
Todd P. Roman.
Rosie Ann Shannon.
Jason P. Ross, in absentia.
Robert P. Shedden.
Jennifer F. Rothman.
Michael Ryan Smith.
Sean K. Sheffield.
Tony Michelle Smith.
Jennifer Suzanne Shepard.
Melissa Marie Snow.
Elizabeth E. Shoemaker.
Heather G. Sotier.
Margot T. Shields.
Jennifer L. Sawinski.
Emmy Shimada, in absentia.
Robert K. Spear.
Stephen J. Schenk.
Tani Dior Springfield.
James B. Shreddle.
Carol Marion Stamper.
Kathleen Mary Signorelli.
Gregory Ryan Stevens.
Melissa Ann Simpson.
Carrie Ann Steva.
Sarah Kathleen Sipos.
Heather Marie Stiles.
Matthew James Sirabatka.
Jane Elizabeth Stockmull.
Jacole K. Scalen.
Philip D. Stock.
Jennifer Ann Slays.
Lynn Marie Strauss.
Paige Elizabeth Sleeker.
Lee Laurel Strutzenberg, in absentia.
Alicia Renee Smith.
Berkin Toplu.
Julie Carol Sweeto.
Delilah Torres.
Rebecca J. Swear.
Katerina Tina Torti, in absentia.
Lauren D. Sikora.
Virginia Deanna Tovar.
Joseph James Zarek.
Carmen Tucci.
Jamie Lynn Stepanik.
Michael William Tumpain.
Don Tybel, in absentia.
Kelly Tung.
Brian Christopher Talmadge.
Ryan Headley Turner.
Michael Randy Tanksley.
Erica Ann Tudelamando.
Marino D. Tansey, in absentia.
Becky Lynn Tyler.
Nicole Lynn Tarno.
Erica Lynn Vandeputty.
Catherine Zoe Taylor.
Frank Thomas Vandy.
Kimberly Ann Teaton.
Angela J. Varielli.
Krista Marie Teamy.
Anthony Fabian Vascones.
Emily Amanda Thrasher.
Jason A. Warburton.
Araceli Liliana Velasquez.
Colin William Waters.
Gilbert Jr. Velasquez.
Jennifer Lee Watkins.
Tracy A. Vermont.
Danielle Webb.
Shanique D. Verner.
Kelly Jean Wiegand.
Catherine Meg Keyline.
Ryan Kenneth West.
Jamie Victor.
John William White Jr.
Adam M. Vining.
Emily Rose Whitman.
Bethany Ann Volker.
Bridget Ann Wilcox.
Nihar H. Vora.
Matthew James Wilcox.
Laura Jean Voza.
Kristen Elizabeth Wilde.
Kevin Todd Wakely.
Kurt Peter Wilhelm.
Monica J. Walsh.
Samuel Kenneth Wyatt.
Sally Ann Walls.
Sarah Ann Wysocki.
Ian Wang.
Martha Joe Yeaton.
William Bradley Wilkening.
Alice Margaret Yasudis.
Aisha Tyrese Williams.
Jason S. Young.
Bryson Shakita Williams.
William Thomas Youngs.
Jennifer Joanne Williams.
Michael Yan.
Mark Bradley Willis.
Allison Maria Yunkin.
Dawn Marie Wills.
Brian Carter Zelli.
Jeffrey John Winarski.
Joanna Elizabeth Zeller.
Christine Noel Withy. Tracy D. Wooldridge. Stephanie Michelle Wright. Would everyone please stand for the closing?
Thank you for joining us for our graduation ceremony today. This day can be one filled with tears of past memories and also future goodbyes. But as the title of this ceremony suggests, it should also be a celebration of the commencement or beginning of the rest of our lives. I've once heard life compared to a coin. You can spend it any way you wish, but you can only spend it once. In that sense, I'd like to wish the class of '96 many happy purchases. May God bless each of you in life. Good luck, and once again, congratulations. Thank you.